I'm Dan Culhane from WCCO, and our guest from Pfizer today is Dr. Viru Goli. He is the Vice President, Clinical Disease Area Expert for Pain from Pfizer. Tell us what an expert in pain does as a Vice President.
Well, Dan, at Pfizer what we have is disease area specialists, and it's our job to try to understand the disease as it pertains to in the medical community and how patients suffer with the disease, and try to interpret that for the company so that we can be on target with the right kind of research and medications for the condition.
Well, what is the status of pain research today?
Well, first, before I tell you the status, Dan, understand that pain is such a common experience that everybody who's an audience here understands the symptom of pain. But it's one of the areas of medicine that has very little understanding in the medical community. You know, if you think about pain as acute pain, it's a useful signal to your body. I mean, if you stub your toe, you need to know that you stubbed your toe. Because that signal tells you that you need to avoid damage to your body, right? But when that pain persists and becomes chronic, it becomes very disabling. And it really affects the quality of life. And in the last decade was the decade of pain, from 2000 to 2010. And in the decade of pain, we made major strides in the understanding of pain, but we have a long way to go.
Well, what exactly are you studying now as far as pain is concerned?
Well, at Pfizer, our focus is on pain and sensory disorders, and we have an entire research unit dedicated to this. It's based in Cambridge in the UK, and this pain unit is dedicated to understanding pain mechanisms, and our focus is on understanding the pain mechanisms, especially ion channels, and we're also targeting genetics and epigenetics. And our goal is to try to not only understand pain mechanisms, but try to find targeted approaches so we can design personalized medication for the right drug for the right person. Because you may respond to a certain type of medication that I may not respond to, and we need to understand that.
Now, does it make a difference what's causing my pain as to how I'm going to respond to a drug?
Absolutely. It's not only what's causing the pain, but how it affects you individually. There are so many chronic pain conditions that have mechanisms that have some similarities, but there are also mechanisms that are different. So we need to understand what the mechanisms are and what happens in chronic pain that's different from acute pain.
Now, Pfizer is studying all these things. Are you joining anybody else, any other research groups,
Absolutely.
any other hospitals?
Absolutely. Collaboration is the name of the game in this field because no one company can do it alone. So we collaborate with world-renowned researchers in universities and other organizations that understand pain. And we collaborate to try to bring the best drugs to the market.
Who are some of these people that you're dealing with or
As I
joining
said,
with?
Mentioned to you about the industry, university collaborations. So we are also focusing on what we call as centers of excellence. We want to collaborate with researchers right at the basic science level to help foster the right kind of research that will bring the right type of medications and the right type of relief for the individuals.
I noticed doing some research for this that one of the lines that I'd read was that you're doing research in novel ways. What are some of those ways that maybe that wouldn't occur to a general person listening, a novel way to do research on pain?
What we are studying is novel mechanisms and also novel ways of doing research. The novel mechanisms are actually looking at what happens in the body that changes the pain perception for an individual, and trying to target novel mechanisms like the ion channels would be one of the novel mechanisms. And novel ways of studying it is to look at individual patient populations, targeting these patient populations that would respond to a certain drug. So that's one of the novel ways.
I see. Well, in the short amount of time we've had here, is there something that you would like to tell me about the pain research that Pfizer is doing that maybe I haven't brought up?
Well, one of the things I just want to mention is that Pfizer is focused in this particular area for a reason. It's a significant unmet need for the patient. And Pfizer has a unique expertise to address this unmet need. And if you look at the population in general, you know that 76 million Americans suffer with chronic pain. And that's 1 in 5 has chronic pain. On top of that, if you look at people with arthritis, almost 1 in 5 or 1 in 6 Americans have some type of arthritis. And about 18 million people have fibromyalgia. And if you add to that the millions of people with cancer pain, pain due to injuries, pain due to diabetes, it's a huge number of people who have partial response to medications. So it's a significant economic impact for our country. And it's also a very significant impact on the individual in terms of their emotional well-being,
Well, sure.
quality of life. All that is affected.
Lost time at work.
Last time at work. In fact, almost 50 to 100 billion dollars worth of economic impact to the industry because people have either poor quality of life or have lost time at work, like you mentioned earlier.
So pain research, a very important aspect of Pfizer as a company.
Extremely important aspect of our.
Dr. Viru Goli is our guest. He's from Pfizer, a vice president with a researching pain. So thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much.